I'm going to check the frame in 3 places, front, middle, and back. Make sure it's not bent, broken, or damaged. No excessive rust, no illegal welds. Check my belt-driven alternator. It's mounted to the truck securely. There's no missing nuts or bolts, and it's not bent, broken, or damaged. The wiring is in place. It's not cutter frayed and has a good connection. Check my belt-driven water pump. It's mounted to the truck securely. It's not bent, broken, or damaged, and it's not leaking. I check my belt. It has no more than 3/4 inch of play. It's in the grooves. It's not cutter frayed. Check all my hoses. Make sure there's no leaks, cracks, or wear, and they're mounted securely to the truck. And I check all my cables. Make sure there's no cuts or frays and they have a good connection. I'm going to check my coolant reservoir. It's mounted to the truck securely. It's not bent, broken, or damaged, or leaking. It has the proper fluid level and cap is in place. Check my oil dipstick. It's mounted to the truck securely. It's not bent, broken, or damaged. If I needed oil, I would add it here. I'm going to check my gear-driven air compressor. It's mounted to the truck securely, not bent, broken, or damaged, not missing any nuts or bolts, not leaking. I'm going to check my gear-driven steering pump. It's mounted to the truck securely, not bent, broken, or damaged, not leaking. We'll check my power steering reservoir. It's mounted to the truck securely, not bent, broken, or damaged, has proper fluid level, it's not leaking, cap's in place. Steering shaft's mounted to the truck securely, not bent, broken, or damaged, it's properly lubricated. The U-joints are not bent, broken, or damaged, not missing any nuts or bolts. Gearbox mounted to the truck securely, not bent, broken, or damaged, missing any nuts or bolts, it's not leaking. Check my pitman arm, my drag link, steer arm, and tie rod, and make sure they're not bent, broken, or damaged. All the cotter keys and castle nuts are in place. The joints are tight and it's properly lubricated. Check my mounts and hangers on my suspension, mounted to the truck securely, not bent, broken, or damaged, not missing any nuts or bolts. Rubber bushings in place. Leaf springs mounted to the truck securely, not bent, broken, damaged, they're not shifted. No illegal welds. U-bolts mounted to the truck securely, not bent, broken, or damaged, not missing any nuts or bolts. Shock absorber mounted to the truck securely, not bent, broken, or damaged, not missing any nuts or bolts, and it's not leaking. My frame, or my front axle, mounted to the truck securely, not bent, broken, or damaged, no illegal welds, and not leaking. My ABS cable mounted to the truck securely, no cuts or frays, and has a good connection. Brake hose has no leaks, cracks, or wear. Mounted securely to the brake chamber. Brake chamber is not bent, broken, or damaged. It's not leaking and not missing any nuts or bolts, and the ring or clamps in place. My slack adjuster is not bent, broken, or damaged, not missing any nuts or bolts, and there's no more than an inch of play with the brakes released. My brake linings are mounted securely to the truck. They're not worn dangerously thin, got no less than 3/4 inch of not worn less than 1/4 inch of play. Inner and outer brake drums are mounted securely to the truck. They're not bent, broken, or damaged, no excessive rust, no illegal welds. Tire are evenly worn, no less than 4/32. Inner and outer sidewalls have no cuts, gouges, or bulges. Got a good bead around the rim, it's not leaking. And the rim's not bent, broken, or damaged, no excessive rust, no illegal welds. My lug nuts, I'm not missing any. They're not bent, broken, or damaged. There's no shiny threads, no divots, and no rust trails to indicate looseness. Inner and outer hub seals are mounted to the truck securely, not bent, broken, or damaged, not missing any nuts or bolts. Leaking, and has proper fluid level. If I needed fluid, I'd add it here. My valve stem's mounted securely to the truck, not bent, broken, or damaged. It's not leaking. I'd check it here with the tire gauge, and if needed, I'd fill it to 120 psi.